Thandiwe hands trembled as she scrubbed blood off the marble floor at 3 in the morning. This wasn't cleaning solution turning the water red. This was actual blood. Fresh. Still warm. Did you see anything? The voice behind her was cold, sharp as a blade. She didn't turn around. Didn't dare. No, sir. I see nothing. I clean. That's all. The man's expensive leather shoes stepped closer. She could smell his cologne, something rich and dangerous. Good. Keep it that way. There are cameras everywhere in this building. Everywhere except this hallway. Understand? Thandiwe nodded, her heart hammering against her ribs. She'd been in Seoul for 3 months, working 3 jobs to survive, sleeping in public bathhouses, sending every spare one back to her family in South Africa. She'd seen nothing. She knew nothing. She wanted to keep it that way. The shoes walked away, echoing down the empty corridor of the Gangnam office building. Only then did Thandiwe allow herself to breathe. 12 hours earlier, she'd been crying at a PC room in Hongdae, staring at her bank account. 400,000 won left. Rent was due. Her mother needed money for her brother's school fees. Her sister's engineering program required new materials. Her grandmother's medication was running low. You look like you could use a drink, a woman's voice had said in English. Thandiwe had looked up to find an elegant Korean woman in her 50s, designer handbag, perfectly styled hair, looking at her with something that might have been sympathy. I don't drink, Thandiwe had replied, wiping her eyes quickly. Smart girl. Coffee then. The woman had smiled. I'm Mrs. Chun. I run a staffing agency. You're looking for work. Always, Thandiwe had said cautiously. Mrs. Chun had sat down across from her, sliding a business card across the table. I have a client who needs overnight cleaning staff. The pay is excellent. 200,000 won per night. Cash. Immediate start. Thandiwe's breath had caught. That was more than she made in an entire week working 3 jobs combined. What's the catch? Discretion, Mrs. Chun had said simply. My client values privacy. You clean. You leave. You don't ask questions. You don't see anything. You don't remember anything. Every instinct had screamed danger. But desperation was louder than instinct. When do I start? Tonight. 11 p.m. I'll text you the address. Now 6 hours into that shift, Thandiwe understood why the pay was so high. This wasn't just an office building. This was something else. Something dark. Something that required blood to be scrubbed from floors at 3 in the morning. She finished cleaning, packed her supplies, and headed toward the service elevator. Her hands were still shaking. She needed to get out. Needed to never come back. The money wasn't worth this. Wait. She froze. A different voice this time. Younger. Softer. But no less commanding. Thandiwe turned slowly to find a man standing in the shadows of the executive floor. He was tall, maybe early 30s, wearing an expensive suit that probably cost more than her entire year's rent. His face was sharp and beautiful in the way that dangerous things often were. Dark eyes watched her with an intensity that made her feel stripped bare. You're the new cleaner, he said. It wasn't a question. Yes, sir. I was just leaving. My shift is over. He stepped into the light and Thandiwe's breath caught. She'd seen this face before. On billboards. In magazines at the convenience store. On the news playing in the Jjimjilbang where she slept. Park Min-jun, CEO of Park Industries. Forbes Korea's 30 under 35. Heir to one of the country's largest conglomerates. But the news never mentioned this. Never mentioned whatever business required blood to be cleaned at 3 a.m. Mrs. Chun sent you? Min-jun asked. Yes, sir. You speak English well. Where are you from? South Africa, sir. Mfatha. Something flickered in his eyes. Interest, maybe. Or calculation. And you're working as a cleaner in Seoul? Thandiwe lifted her chin, pride warring with fear. Honest work is honest work, sir. A ghost of a smile crossed his face. Indeed. What's your name? Thandiwe. People call me Thandi. Thandi, he repeated, the name sounding strange but somehow right in his Korean accent. Did you see anything tonight? No, sir. Nothing at all. He studied her for a long moment. Then he pulled out his phone, typed something and showed her the screen. A bank transfer notification. 5 million won. Thandiwe's eyes went wide. I don't understand. That's for tonight. And for your continued discretion. Mrs. Chun will contact you with future shifts. You'll work 3 nights a week. Same rate. Same rules. Don't see anything. Don't say anything. Don't remember anything. Sir, do you need the money or not? The question was brutal in its simplicity. Thandiwe thought of her mother's last message, the desperation barely hidden behind hopeful words. Thought of her brother's medical school application sitting unpaid. Her sister's dreams of building bridges in rural communities. Her grandmother's prayers. I need it, she whispered. Then we understand each other. Go home, Thandi. Sleep well. I'll see you Friday night. She left. But she didn't sleep well. She didn't sleep at all. 3 weeks passed in a blur of blood and silence. Thandiwe cleaned things she tried not to think about. Scrubbed away evidence she pretended not to understand. And every week, 5 million won appeared in her account. She sent most of it home. Kept enough to finally rent a tiny room in Guro district instead of sleeping in bathhouses. Her mother's messages became lighter. Hopeful. Proud. Your brother got accepted to medical school. The deposit is paid. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. Your sister's engineering program is going well. She's top of her class. You made this possible. Grandma's medication is working. She can walk again. She blesses you every day. Each message was a knife in Thandiwe's heart. Because her family thought she was living an honest life. Teaching English. Working hard. Making them proud. They didn't know she was cleaning up after criminals. Working for people who hurt others. Taking blood money to fund their dreams. You look troubled, Min-jun said one night. He'd started appearing during her shifts. Not every night, but often enough that she'd stopped being startled. He'd sit in the empty cafeteria while she cleaned, working on his laptop, occasionally asking her questions. I'm fine, sir, she replied automatically. You're a terrible liar, Thandi. It's almost endearing. She paused her scrubbing, frustration finally overwhelming fear. Why do you do this? Do what? This. She gestured around the building. You're rich. Successful. Famous. You don't need whatever this is. Whatever business requires cleaning blood at 3 a.m. Min-jun's expression went cold. Dangerous. You're asking questions. I'm asking you, not anyone else. And I think I deserve to know what I'm risking my life for. He was silent for so long she thought he might fire her. Or worse. Then he laughed, sharp and bitter. You're braver than most of my employees. Or more foolish. Perhaps both. He closed his laptop, leaned back in his chair, studying her. My father built an empire on 2 foundations. Legitimate business and underground operations. When he died, I inherited both. The board thinks I only run the clean side. They're wrong. Why tell me this? Because you already know. And because you're the first person in months who's looked at me like I'm human instead of a bank account or a threat. Thandiwe sat back on her heels, surprised by the raw honesty in his voice. You could walk away. Choose the legitimate business. Leave this behind. Could I? Min-jun's smile was sad. There are people who depend on this. Families I protect. Territories I maintain. Power structures I balance. If I walk away, worse people fill the vacuum. People who don't care about collateral damage. That's an excuse. Maybe. Or maybe it's reality. He stood up, walked closer. Why are you here, Thandi? Really? You have an education degree. You speak multiple languages. You're clearly intelligent. Why are you scrubbing floors at 3 a.m. for blood money? Because my father died in a mining accident when I was 12, and my mother raised 5 children alone. And now it's my turn to make sure my siblings get the chances she never had. Because my brother is brilliant and deserves medical school. Because my sister is going to build infrastructure that changes lives. Because my baby brother wants to open a free school. Because I promised my grandmother I'd make the family proud. The words poured out, raw and unfiltered. Thandiwe hadn't meant to say any of it. But something about this man, this dangerous beautiful man with sad eyes, made her want to be honest. And you? She asked. Why are you really here at 3 a.m.? You have people who could handle this. Min-jun's jaw tightened. 6 months ago my wife left me. Announced our divorce at a charity gala by kissing my business rival. Said his portfolio diversification was better than mine. That's how she thought of our marriage. An investment that wasn't performing well enough. I'm sorry. Don't be. Taught me something valuable. Everyone in my world sees me as an opportunity. A transaction. A means to an end. My best friend tried to stage a hostile takeover of my company. My brother only calls when he needs money. My gym partner only wants stock tips. I have 800 contacts in my phone, and not a single person who'd care if I disappeared tomorrow. Thandiwe understood. You seem dangerous too. He looked at her sharply. What? Invisible. People see your money, your power, your name. But they don't see you. Just like people see my uniform, my accent, my job. But they don't see me. We're both invisible. Just in different ways. Something shifted in Min-jun's expression. A crack in the careful control. The air between them felt charged. Dangerous in a completely different way than before. I should finish cleaning, Thandiwe said quietly, breaking the moment. Yes, Min-jun agreed. But neither of them moved. The next week everything changed. Thandiwe arrived for her Friday shift to find the building in chaos. Security guards everywhere. Police tape blocking entrances. Mrs. Chun grabbed her arm before she could approach. Don't go in there. There was a raid. Federal prosecutors. They're investigating Park Industries' connections to organized crime. Thandiwe's stomach dropped. Min-jun. Arrested 2 hours ago. They're calling him the biggest mafia boss in Seoul. 20 years of operations exposed. Money laundering, extortion, underground gambling, everything. Mrs. Chen's expression was grim. Anyone connected to him is being investigated, including cleaning staff. The police have your name, Thandiwe. They'll be looking for you. I didn't do anything illegal. I just cleaned. Her eyes showed widened. You cleaned up evidence. You took payment for silence. That makes you an accessory. Mrs. Chun pressed a burner phone into her hand. This has one contact. A lawyer who specializes in cases like this. Call him. But first you need to disappear for a while. They'll be looking for you. Thandiwe's hand shook. I can't disappear. I have jobs. Rent. My family depends on. Your family will have nothing if you're in prison. Go. Now. She ran. Not thinking, just moving. Through Seoul's neon-lit streets, through crowds of people who didn't see her, through her invisible life that was suddenly very visible to all the wrong people. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Don't answer anything, Mrs. Chun had said. But desperation made people stupid. Hello. Thandiwe. Min-jun's voice. Rough, exhausted, but unmistakably him. How are you calling me? Mrs. Chun said you were arrested. I was. I'm out on bail. 20 billion won bail, but that's not important. Listen carefully. The prosecutors are building a case. They'll use anyone connected to me as leverage. They'll offer you immunity if you testify against me. I don't know anything worth testifying about. She quickly replied, voice cracking. You know enough. And they'll make you remember more. They'll show you photos, documents, evidence. They'll pressure you until you say what they want to hear. His voice was urgent, almost frantic. I'm calling to tell you that I'll protect you. But you have to trust me. Trust you? You lied to me. You used me. I was cleaning up crime scenes while thinking I was just helping someone with privacy concerns. I know. I'm sorry. I should have been honest. But Thandiwe, please, you're in danger. These prosecutors don't care about justice. They want a conviction. They'll destroy you to get to me. Why do you care? I'm just the cleaning lady. Silence. Then. You're not just anything. You're the first person in years who saw me as human. Who talked to me like I mattered. Who made me feel less alone. And he stopped. Started again. I care about you. More than I should. More than is wise. And I'm not letting them destroy your dreams. Thandiwe's heart was hammering. What are you even talking about? I'm saying marry me. The world tilted. What? Marry me. Right now. Tonight. In Korea, spouses can't be compelled to testify against each other. It's the law. If you're my wife, they can't force you to speak. They can't threaten you. That's insane. She pondered. It's the only way to protect you. I have a lawyer meeting us at the courthouse in an hour. We sign papers, you become Mrs. Park, and you're safe. Safe? Your life is falling apart. Your entire empire is being investigated. And I'll survive it. I have lawyers, resources, connections. But you? You're vulnerable. You're foreign. You have no protection. They'll deport you, Thandiwe. They'll send you home in disgrace. After everything you've sacrificed, everything you've built, you'll go home with nothing. The words hit like a punch. Her mother's proud messages. Her siblings' dreams. Her grandmother's prayers. All of it collapsing because she'd been desperate enough to take this one risky job. This isn't a real proposal, she said. This is a business transaction because… She stammered. Yes, Min-jun agreed. It's exactly that. A transaction. Protection for loyalty. Safety for silence. I'm offering you what I can offer. Take it or face the prosecutors alone. Thandiwe closed her eyes. Thought of her brother in medical school, her family and all. Tears brimmed down her eyes. Thought of her mother's wedding ring, sold to buy a plane ticket. Her grandmother's pension money, given freely. Thought of going home with nothing. Facing them as a failure. As a criminal. As someone who'd taken everything they'd sacrificed and destroyed it. One condition, she said. Name it. You pay for my siblings' education. All of it. Everything. And you set up a trust for my grandmother's care. Healthcare, medication, whatever she needs. That's the price. She said hastily. Done. My lawyer will have the documents ready. Where are you? She told him. 30 minutes later, a black expensive ride pulled up. The driver didn't speak, just opened the door. Thandiwe climbed in, her heart racing. Min-jun was in the back seat. He looked exhausted, his suit rumpled, dark circles under his eyes. But when he saw her, relief flooded his face. You came. I'm here for my family. Not for you. I know. He handed her a folder. Education trusts. Healthcare accounts. Everything you asked for. Already funded. Already legally binding. Whether you marry me or not, your family is taken care of. Thandiwe stared at him. Why would you do that if I might still refuse? She asked. Because you deserve it. Because your sacrifice for them is real. Because someone should keep their promises to you. Even if it's me. Something cracked in her chest. This man, this criminal, this liar, this dangerously handsome man, was the first person in months who'd actually seen her. Actually valued her. Actually kept a promise. The courthouse, she asked. Yes. Then let's go. They married at 4 a.m. in an empty courthouse with a tired judge and 2 witnesses pulled from security. Thandiwe wore her cleaning uniform. Min-jun wore his rumpled suit. There were no flowers, no music, no joy. Just 2 exhausted people signing papers that made them visible to the law. You may kiss the bride, the judge said, sounding bored. Min-jun looked at Thandiwe. May I? She nodded. His lips touched hers, soft and brief and tasting like desperation and something that might have been hope. When they pulled apart, the judge was already filing papers. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Park. You're legally married. Outside the courthouse, dawn was breaking over Seoul. The city looked different in the early light. Less neon. More real. What happens now? Thandiwe asked. Min-jun took her hand. His grip was warm, solid, real. Now I fight the prosecutors. Now you're protected. Now we figure out how to survive this together. He joked. This isn't real. This marriage? Or is it? No, he agreed. It's a transaction. Protection for loyalty. Safety for silence. But his thumb was tracing circles on her palm. And his eyes were looking at her like she was something precious. Something worth protecting. Something worth keeping. Min-jun. Yes. When this is over. When the trial ends. When I'm safe and you're cleared. What then? He was quiet for a long moment. Then you're free to go. The marriage can be annulled. The trusts remain yours. You owe me nothing. And if I don't want to go? His breath caught. What? You said I was the first person who saw you as human. You're the first person who saw me that way too. What if this transaction becomes something real? What if we choose each other not because we have to, but because we want to. Min-jun's expression was raw, vulnerable, terrified. That's a dangerous thing to want, Thandi. I've been invisible my whole life. I've scrubbed floors while people stepped over me. I've worked myself to exhaustion while sending every spare one home. I've sacrificed everything for everyone else's dreams. Maybe it's time I hold on to something. She stepped closer, put her hand on his chest, felt his heart hammering. So I'm asking you, Park Min-jun billionaire. Ew. Mafia boss. Whatever they call you. Do you want me? Not as protection. Not as a transaction. As something real. His arms wrapped around her, pulling her close. More than I've wanted anything in my entire life. Then let's make this real. Let's choose each other. Let's be visible together. He kissed her again. Deeper this time. Real this time. Not a courthouse obligation but a promise. A choice. A beginning. When they pulled apart, the sun was fully up. Seoul was waking up. And for the first time in months, Thandiwe felt like she could breathe. Come home with me, Min-jun said. Not to hide. Come home with me as my wife. As my partner. As the person who sees me. Okay, she whispered. Take me home. On arrival, the penthouse was everything Thandiwe had imagined wealth would look like. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Namsan Tower. Marble floors that gleamed without her having to scrub them. Art on the walls that probably cost more than her entire village back home. Min-jun led her to the living room where a woman in an elegant suit stood waiting, laptop open on the coffee table. Thandi, this is Young Hyejin, my seo. Hyejin, my wife. The woman bowed. Smiled. It's an honor to finally meet you, Mrs. Park. Congratulations on passing. Then she paused. Thandiwe froze. Passing what? Min-jun's expression shifted. Something between guilty and hopeful. Hyejin, give us a moment? The COO nodded, gathered her laptop, and disappeared into another room. Thandiwe turned to face him, her heart starting to pound. What did she mean, passing? Min-jun ran a hand through his hair, suddenly looking nervous. Before you get angry. Min-jun. What did she mean? He took a deep breath. There was no blood. No crime. No federal investigation. No prosecutors coming after you, dear. The words didn't make sense. Thandiwe stared at him. What? Her voice cracked. You meant it was all staged or a test? He nodded. It was staged. All of it. The cleaning job was arranged because I really needed to make a hard-working lady like you my wife. The building, the blood, it was theatrical blood, the kind they use in movies. The security guards were actors. Mrs. Chun works for me. The raid, the arrest, the bail. All of it was orchestrated. Thandiwe's legs went weak. She sat down hard on the white leather couch. You're lying. I'm not. Min-jun knelt in front of her, his eyes pleading. 6 months ago, after my divorce, I decided I was done with Seoul's elite social circles. Done with women who saw me as a portfolio. Done with relationships built on net worth and family connections. I wanted someone real. So you created an elaborate lie? I created a test. He pulled out his phone, showed her a folder of documents. Contracts with actors. Receipts for props. Communications with Mrs. Chun about the operation. I needed to know if there was anyone in this city who had genuine character. Real strength. True compassion. Someone who'd sacrifice for others, who'd work hard without complaining. Who'd see people as human beings instead of transactions. Thandiwe's hands were shaking. The money you paid me. Real. Everyone. You earned it. My family's trusts. Real. Already funded. Already legally yours. That wasn't part of the test. That was just right. The marriage. Real. Min-jun took her hands. That marriage certificate we signed? Legal. Binding. You are actually my wife. But Thandi, I need you to understand something. I was going to tell you the truth before the proposal. I was going to reveal everything and then ask you properly, honestly, if you'd consider giving me a chance. But when I called you, when I heard the fear in your voice, I couldn't do it. I couldn't add more stress. I needed you safe first. Thandiwe pulled her hands away, stood up, paced to the window. Her mind was reeling. You watched me. For weeks. Watched me struggle. Watched me cry. Watched me exhaust myself. And it was all a test. Yes. His voice was quiet, ashamed. Do you have any idea how terrified I was? How guilty I felt taking what I thought of it? How many nights I couldn't sleep because I thought I was helping criminals? I know. And I'm sorry. Truly. But Thandi, he stood, came to stand beside her at the window. You passed. Every single impossible test I threw at you, you passed with grace. You gave out your all just to help your family. I've never seen a selfless woman. She was dumbfounded. He turned her to face him, his eyes intense. Do you understand what that means? In a city of 10 million people, I found one woman who was genuinely, thoroughly, impossibly good. One woman who worked 3 jobs without bitterness to put smiles on her family's faces. As he knelt with pleading eyes, she held him up. It was that moment she understood. Living right wasn't an error. If this story hooks you already, please like, share and subscribe to my channel, as I bring you more exciting tales.